The downside from switching from a metal frame pistol to a polymer frame pistol is that it's no longer just a swap of the scales in order to improve grip. You either have to add something like a skateboard grip tape or do an actual stipple with a hot tool. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a random stippling, which is the classic type, but I'll also show you how to do a fine pattern with lines, like on this other frame that I have. Since this video isn't Glock specific, you can do it on pretty much any pistol. I'm just going to breeze through the takedown of the Gen 3. The benefit of removing pieces is that you won't get a bunch of dust into the internal parts, and also you won't accidentally melt plastic onto moving parts, which could hinder its operation down the road. If you're going to be stippling a polymer magazine, I would also suggest removing the follower and also the spring. Now that we have the bare frame, we're going to go ahead and remove the old texturing, and in my case, I'm going to be removing the finger grooves as well. In this video, I'm going to be using a belt sander to remove the old grip and also the finger grooves. If you're heavy-handed or don't have experience using these sorts of power tools, I highly suggest not doing it, because if you remove too much material, you can't really put it back. By using light pressure and always keeping the belt moving, it's pretty easy to remove all the stuff that you don't want. You want to remove just enough material that the pattern goes away. If you remove too much, then you start messing with the integrity of the frame. If you're using hand tools, I would suggest using something like a wooden rasp for the rough shaping, and a coarse piece of sandpaper wrapped around a wooden block. Doing it this way will probably take you about 45 minutes to an hour. Using a power tool like I did earlier, it takes about 5 minutes. Now that we have it all finished out, you'll still be able to see some of the patterning, but running your fingers over it, it feels very smooth. To do the wood burning, we're going to be using a Weller wood burning tool. This is about $25 online, and it comes with a few different tips. I'll be using the small chisel tip, but it also comes with a longer angled chisel tip and also a fine point. For the random stippling, we'll be using the fine point, and the tip of the day is to use very light perpendicular pressure that's even throughout the whole process. Lighter pressure means that the grip will be more fine, and heavier pressure will mean that the grip is more coarse. And it goes without saying, but you don't want to press too hard, otherwise you'll melt through the entire frame. Now, if you're deciding to use a line tool, it's best to use a scrap piece of wood in order to practice your pattern. You'll see that the first rendition of this pattern sucks like hell, but after doing it a few times, it starts to get a lot better. That way you can figure out the spacing and also the pressure that you're going to be applying. Whatever pattern you do, you want to make sure that you can make it so that they all interlock. You'll notice a 3D cube type pattern here, and also more of a basket weave, which you can have either horizontal and vertical, or made at a diagonal pattern. When I'm doing the stippling, I try and break the frame up into different sections and work on one section at a time. This helps me keep a random pattern, but it's also kind of like counting your push-ups in tens versus counting all the way up to your goal number. It just seems to help overall. And here you'll see the very final moments of me stippling my entire frame. And there you have it. An angel has gotten its wings. And now the pistol will be easier to grip, easier to control, and it's a little bit more unique now.